Hello again. This is another example of how to make a percentage web, but this time I've chosen a trickier number and I'm going to make decisions based on my knowledge and my learning needs. So let's see how this is going to look. I am going to start with finding 10%. I find 10% is just an easy place to start, and it connects you to a lot of other numbers. So you can go to 5%, you can go to 1%, you can go to 20%. It's a really good base number. So 64 divided by 10 is 6.4. Okay, so I can also take that to 20%. And I do that timesing by 2. So 6.4 times by 2 is 12.8. Okay. I can also go to 1%, which is divide by 10. So 6.4 divided by 10 takes me to 0.64. Okay, so now I'm going to make a decision. My next step is to find 5%. But timesing 6.4 doesn't sound like too much fun to me. But I can also use this number here. So I can use 6.4 and divide that by 2 to get 5%. So I'm actually going to take that option, because I think it's going to be a little bit easier for me. And I'm going to divide by 2. Because 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 6.4 divided by 2 is 3.2. So that's just a little decision that I've made. So from here, I can also find out 40%. And I can do that timesing this by 2. So we've got 12 times 2. And I'm actually just going to make a little working out corner here. 12 times 2 is 24. 8 times 2 is 1.6. Okay, so 25.6. Not everything has to be done in your head, remember? Work it out if you need to. Okay, so what else do I want to find out? I want to find out 50%. That's also a useful one. So 50, and I divide that by 2. So 64 divided by 2. So I'm going to do 60 and 4. So that's 30 and 2. And then I can also find out 25% based on that as well. So to find 25%, divide that by 2. So I've got 30 divided by 2 is 15. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So my answer is, add them together, 16. Okay, so that is another web, a little bit more complicated, and I decided to make decisions based on what I know. Now, I can use these numbers to find different percentages. So say I wanted to find 70% of 64. I could use my knowledge of 50% and 20% and add those together. So I could 50% and 20%. So let's just work that out now. So 32 equals 50%. 12.8 is 20%. 4 Right. So 70% of 64 is 44.8. So just another example of how you can use and make a percentage web.